So I don't know what I'm doing because I just booked a business class ticket for my return trip home. I am currently in London, sitting in the British Airways lounge and about to take an 11-hour flight back to San Francisco. But real quick, let me first tell you about how I got here, because even though I didn't want to be leaving London so soon, my expectations were high once I saw that even check-in was behind this private, walled-off part of the airport. This check-in area legit looks so nice, where they even give you drinks. And because I was in business class, I got to take a faster line through security before finding my way, finally, to this lounge. It was so large and had a great view of the airport, but if I'm also being honest, it was also kind of crowded and kind of hard to find an open seat. It did have a ton of food and drink options, but I was still feeling a little sad about the fact that I was leaving London today and not being able to push back my flight, so I didn't get too much. Just some very British looking chips, as well as a variety of just some random kind of hot foods. If I'm going to be honest though, the hot food wasn't that memorable, at least not what I got. As for the chips, the flavor is sweet chili and red pepper. It does taste pretty different than some of the flavors you find in America. They also have ice cream. Oh, it's actually really soft and creamy. I quite like it. But now it's time to board, so I left the lounge and took the train shuttle to my gate. Story time will have to wait till after takeoff. So I've actually heard British Airways is one of the worst ways to fly over the Atlantic. And in fact, it was so bad that at some point many years ago, a whole other airline called Virgin Atlantic was created because British Airways was doing so poorly. But on the other hand, I am flying their newest and best business class seat, so fingers crossed, hopefully it will turn out okay. And now, let's finally board this flight. Low-key, I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw it in person, oh my gosh, it was so much better than what I was expecting. I mean, just look at this seat. I get my own little luggage bin.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy.
I barely even had time to sit down, and they already got me a welcome champagne, which, wow, just the perfect way to wait for boarding to finish. This does feel quite nice. If you don't mind, orange juice, that'd be great. We just also got a glass of orange juice. And now they just handed me a lunch menu. I'm so excited to look through this. Guys, I have to say, if this is the worst way to fly across the Atlantic in business class, sign me up. Because so far, oh my goodness, as soon as I sat down, I was brought a glass of champagne. I was also given an orange juice, a menu to order from, and let me also show you the seat because it has also so many features. Starting with a huge amount of legroom, which is perfect since I'm about 6'1". A large TV screen, an adjustable armrest, a storage space with charging ports and a remote I didn't even need because the TV is touchscreen, a second storage bin right next to that, a third storage bin above that, and even this fourth one I used to put the free headphones that came with the seat. I've just discovered the seat has buttons. Whoa, I'm reclining. Whoa. Which is controlled by these buttons. And the tray table comes out from beneath the TV and snaps into place with a satisfying click. There is also a little reading light with 3 brightness levels, and of course, that door that makes this whole seat feel so much more private. I can't see any of the other passengers from here, and there's a whole door that I'm definitely going to try later on to just block out the aisle as well. So we're still actually at the gate, but I think I see one of the flight attendants already taking orders from people. I'm not sure exactly for what, but I think it's time for me to take a proper peek through this menu that they just gave me. Oh my gosh, guys, they have so many things on the menu. And it was not a moment too soon because right after that, the flight attendant came by to take my lunch order. And now that that's out of the way, they actually gave you so many things on this flight. Let me show you some of them. First, a gigantic pillow. Next, this little sleeping kit with a blanket and mattress pad. Next to me, we have a cubby with... There we go. Some water and more amenities? Okay. Let's see what's inside of here, shall we? There's an eye mask, some socks, a dental kit, earplugs, and some skincare products. And lastly, they also have a pair of pretty nice looking headphones. Wow, very impressed. So I've heard the reason why British Airways is considered not the best airline is because there's a large number of potential delays and just logistics issues that can happen at Heathrow, causing delays, causing cancellations. And it seems like we are experiencing one right now.
Can't have the situation where we can't dim the lights for night flight.
But you know what? I'm not even mad. I can just enjoy this for longer. So as we waited, I just sat back, relaxed, and played a little bit of chess on my phone. It looks like we're finally about to leave our gate. It's a little bit past an hour before our scheduled departure, so a bit of a delay, but not too bad, honestly. Since the flight is now at the air, they've just closed that door and handed me a hot towel. Guys, I still can't believe I get this entire seat to myself. I ordered a drink and it just arrived. Tastes very nice. Not really alcoholic tasting actually, but just maybe slightly dangerous. But tastes quite good. There's also some snacks that it comes with. And now all there is to do is wait for the meal that I've just ordered. But before that, while I wait, I'm going to get a little bit of reading done. But not for very long because the first of the courses just arrived and oh my goodness, it looks so good. I actually asked for not one, but two of their appetizers. So we get both the shrimp as well as the soup, the red pepper soup. We also get actual silverware. They've given so many utensils, oh my goodness. I think it's so cool also how I can just also order two of the appetizers. Oh, I quite like the soup. It definitely has a very strong red pepper taste that I actually think is quite pleasant. It's pretty thick actually, with croutons that give a nice crunch. So this is some of the best airplane food I've had so far, and it's only the appetizer course. And then I had this bread thingy that has 3 different types of bread all baked into one. This is the third kind of bread that they have. This salad thing actually has some goat cheese as well. And at this point, I'm just really having fun with all the food that they're giving me. The main has now just arrived, which is a salmon with artichoke, cherry tomato, and broccolini in a cream sauce. My favorite part of the appetizers was definitely the red pepper soup. Just tasted very good. The shrimp wasn't bad either, but I feel like it just wasn't the most memorable thing ever. The salmon wasn't the juiciest I've ever had, but still pretty good, and the cream sauce worked well with it. I have to say, all the presentation of the food is so much better than economy. The salmon is not only sitting on its own plate, there's also another plate below it as well. There's still a third course dessert. Let's see what's on the menu. The chocolate walnut orange cake? Sure, yeah. And then actually, if it's possible, could I also try the cheeses as well?
Yeah, of course, do you want some pork as well, sir?
Oh yeah, that'd be great actually.
Sure.
Thanks so much. I guess we're getting some wine as well, some dessert wine.
Really?
I'm going to have some of the wine first. It's indeed a bit sweeter. A few minutes after this cheese plate, which by the way was really tasty, the cake came, which was kind of like a banana bread in taste, but with chocolate and orange instead of banana. And after the 2 appetizers and the 2 desserts, I was really getting quite full, which means it's time to do a restroom tour so I can brush my teeth and get ready for a little nap. The bathroom was very pleasant with a clean sink, lots of bath products, and some air freshener. Now it's time to put on my hoodie, recline my seat, close the door, and bring out the blanket. Finally, time to use the lie flat seat. I have to say, it does feel a bit weird to be taking a nap when the flight occurs entirely in daylight hours and the cabin is still very clearly well lit. But hey, a nap is a nap. Good morning! The cabin was way dimmer than I expected when I woke up, and our plane was already past Greenland. And of course, the best way to wake up after a long nap involves...
Can I actually get some more drinks? Yeah, of course you can. Would you like?
I ordered both a fizzy and alcoholic drink, and midway through that conversation, the flight attendant happened to bring up snacks. Which means, guys, I'm gonna have to apologize because this flight video is really gonna turn out to be an eating and drinking video. It seems like you can really just order as much as you want of everything in terms of food and drink. even the alcoholic ones. Business class really is quite nice. I think the snacks are here. And as the snacks are arriving, it's a perfect time, I think, to mention just how incredible the entire crew has been on this flight. Everyone has been so nice and really attentive, even when I was asking about things like a second appetizer or dessert. And shout out to Alex. We even had a fun chat as he brought over the snacks and drinks, and he mentioned that he himself loves watching flight videos. Let's have a sip of the drink. Quite pleasant. And then I had the fruit and chocolates before trying the other drink that looked really quite similar. Oh, it's also quite good. And I still had quite a few more hours in the flight left, so I think I might get some work done. And so I worked and worked and worked and worked until finally it was time for our last meal on board. Let's dig in. This time I got a chicken tikka salad, the same bread trio from the last meal, a chocolate mousse dessert, and since I'm on a British flight, naturally I had to try some tea. It actually comes with 3 different knives. I'm sure there's some British etiquette around how you're supposed to use them, but sadly I have no clue what that etiquette would be. So I went straight in for some chicken. They also have a bunch of vegetables, which were actually pretty tasty. So was the green tea that I got with my meal. The bread was as good as last time, and as I cleared the plate of chicken tikka salad, the lamb pie arrived right after. Now that the maid has arrived, let me also tell you guys this story of why I somewhat regret getting on this flight in the first place. It all started with a girl I met online in London. I told her like, hey, I'm only here for a little bit of time, didn't really think much of it. But once I told her that I was gonna leave the next day from when we were texting, instead of being like, oh, you know what, it's okay, we could just not meet up, which I was honestly expecting, she suddenly texts back way more frequently. And we start to arrange plans. I have to say, the British really like their pies. Anyways, back to the story. I had asked her if she wanted to do something the next morning, but instead she proposed doing something tonight. And honestly, that would have been really crazy because it would have been in London. And I was actually going to be at Cambridge that night, so I would have had to book a whole additional train ride and a last-minute hotel like the night of just to go on this date with her. And also pack my luggage way earlier than I was originally intending to. So anyways, I actually said yes, or I told her I could make it. This chocolate mousse is really good, by the way. But here's where things take a turn for the worse. There's a period of time, this is around 9 p.m., where she stops texting for maybe half an hour to an hour. And this is like right before the time we were talking about, and notably when I would have had to book that train ride. It turns out her phone lost power and she actually had to borrow her friend's computer to be able to message me again. So she was like pretty down to make this happen. But the unfortunate part was, because of that small delay, I didn't quite have enough time to both pack up all of my things and also make that train that was gonna be getting to London at around 11. And instead I would have gotten there at like 12:30, but after midnight, which was a bit too late. Also, if it wasn't clear from how far I was willing to go to make this date happen, she was really pretty, and from her messages, she seemed like a really cool person. If only I wasn't leaving London so soon. And as I finished dinner, with only a few minutes remaining in the flight, I spent that time enjoying the seat, looking at the view, putting back my laptop, using the restroom one last time, and returning to my seat to put my seatbelt on. As I sat there, a thought suddenly occurred to me, that maybe it was how fleeting that encounter was that made it special. Just like this experience in the sky was about to be for me. Like my flight and maybe even life as a whole. It is because time is so limited that what I make of that time becomes important. There's a Japanese concept called ichigo ichii. It says that every encounter is special, every moment worth treasuring because it'll never happen again. So perhaps while it was not meant to be with this girl, what was special was instead how I felt about it in the moment. Goodbye to what never was. And an appreciation for this experience, but also each and every moment leading up to the present. Because sometimes there does not need to be a reward at the end of the journey. A date after flirting, a relationship after going on dates, a marriage after being in a relationship. Sometimes it's the journey itself that's special.